Show me the money. Let's talk about how class registration and billing works at DePaul. Right off the bat, let's get into a couple basics that not everyone seems to realize. You're only billed for the terms you're registered for classes. If you don't register into any classes, you won't be charged tuition. Note that your tuition bill has nothing to do with the housing bill. We're only discussing tuition billing in this video. If you live on campus, please refer to your housing contract for class registration requirements and on-campus housing eligibility. If you live off campus and you decide for whatever reason that you need to take a break for a term or two, that's a-okay from an academic advising standpoint. You will not receive a tuition bill for terms you are not registered for classes. If you're receiving any financial aid, before you make any registration decisions, you must discuss financial aid issues with the financial aid office before deciding whether to take a term or two off, or you might lose your aid. Some financial aid, especially merit aid, requires full-time enrollment in consecutive terms to maintain eligibility. Also, if you only take 4 credits or 1 class, you'll have to start repaying any student loan debts you already took out. Some courses are only offered a year or every other year, or some classes need to be taken in a specific order. So you should definitely talk with your academic advisor about any terms that you're thinking about taking off too. Also, taking off from school tends to delay graduation for most students, especially for those who don't come in with test or dual enrollment credits. It's feasible for students to catch up through summer school or taking extra classes in future terms, but just keep in mind your graduation timeline when deciding whether you need to take time off. And always, of course, talk with your academic advisor about how any reduced registration decisions may affect your future graduation timeline. If you're not successfully completing your courses due to other priorities or concerns in your life, give yourself the grace to take a break. Ultimately, DePaul will still be here when you're ready to focus on school. If you need to prioritize your health, mental well-being, or your family, please do so. Just go speak with your financial aid office so that you're aware of the implications to aid eligibility first, so that you can make informed decisions about what you need to do. Continuing to register and not passing classes can often hurt your aid eligibility more than taking a break. So you remain an active student at DePaul even if you're not registered, as long as you register within 3 terms excluding the summer. You will be discontinued after the last day to add a class deadline of the 3rd term you don't register. So say you registered for fall. If you skip winter, that's the 1st term off. Spring, that's the 2nd. So summer doesn't count. And then fall, that's the 3rd term that you didn't register. You would be discontinued in September of fall term after the last day to add a class deadline for the fall term. Remember, summer doesn't count as part of the 3-term limit. If you're discontinued due to low enrollment, no worries. When you're ready to return, it's a simple readmission application. Just note that if there were any changes to the curriculum in your absence, you'll be expected to follow the new curriculum requirements. And remember, you always need to submit the FAFSA for financial aid eligibility. A couple other things to note about registration. It's not an all or nothing, meaning you don't have to think of registration as full load or no load. You can actually be billed less tuition by going part-time and staying under 12 credits. But again, this isn't factoring in financial aid eligibility. So if you receive any aid, you must discuss the implications of going part-time with a financial aid advisor to avoid the possibility of losing your aid. Always focus on how much you would pay, how much you're responsible for, not how much aid you receive. So as you consider your registration options, pay attention to your tuition bill. You should know exactly how much you're billed every term. Try to keep track of your quarterly tuition bill on an Excel sheet. You can keep tabs on how much your tuition you pay each year so that at the end of your degree, you know exactly how much your degree cost you. You can make better informed financial decisions when you actually know what you're paying, why, and can identify ways to cut costs by taking extra classes, summer classes, or transferring classes. So on this tab, aid is the free money that you don't need to pay back. Pay is your out-of-pocket expense each term. Loan is how much you borrow and need to pay back later. So add up your loan and pay amount each term to keep track of what you pay to complete your degree. So let's look at how you're billed tuition. Whether you're registered for 12 credits or 18, you're billed the same tuition. Do an internet search to look up the rates online by year, college, and level, undergrad or grad. So let's break this down by the number of classes you take each term and how that impacts billing. These slides don't factor in any financial aid. This is showing the full sticker price to drill home the need to pay attention to the number of classes you take each term. If you register for 3 4-credit classes, that's 12 credits, and you'll be billed for the full tuition rate. If you register for 2 4-credit classes, that's 8 credits, and you'll be billed rate, not the full tuition rate, since you're under 12 credits. Again, do an internet search for the DePaul tuition to see exactly what the credit rate is each year, and then multiply that by however many credits you choose to take. So let's look at the tuition charge difference between 8 credits and 12 credits. Adding just one more 4-credit class increases your tuition bill by over $8,000. This also typically means you're probably paying twice for that same credit, since most students still need to earn 192 credits, and you wouldn't have earned that missing 4 credits the first time by taking a 12-credit load instead of a 16-credit load. If you're receiving any aid, you must talk with the financial aid office before taking any time off or taking a reduced load, so that you understand how time off or a reduced load will affect your future financial aid eligibility. There are also opportunity costs associated with delayed graduation. But what are the opportunities that you'll miss as a result of delaying graduation? That really depends on you and your performance. So back to billing. There are university deadlines that have an effect on your bill. Always remember that billing is based on class registration. If you register for 5 4-credit classes, that's 20 credits, which means you're 2 credits over the 18-credit tuition package. If you don't drop one of those classes before the second week, that no penalty drop deadline, you're going to owe about an extra $1,600. Even if you drop that 5th class, if it's after the no penalty drop deadline, you'll still owe that $1,600. So it's imperative you keep track of deadlines. Do an internet search for DePaul Academic Calendar and download those university deadlines. So here are a few examples of class registration before and after the no penalty drop deadline. There's no billing difference between examples 1 and 2, but in example 2, the student isn't dinged for satisfactory academic progress. In example 1's class drop does result in a ding against satisfactory academic progress. Satisfactory academic progress requires students to successfully complete over 60% of their classes. Every failed, dropped, or repeated class counts against the successful completion rate. Dropped classes are only counted against a student if it's after the no penalty drop deadline. In example 3, there's an extra $1,500-ish to pay for going over 2 credits over the 18-credit tuition package and a ding against the satisfactory academic progress per dropping. Now, if you happen to be under 18 credits after week 2 and you want or need to register for more credits, the School for Continuing Professional Studies offers late 2-credit classes that begin week 5. Do an internet search for SCPS class schedule to navigate to their website and complete their registration form, since you won't be able to independently add any classes after week 1, the last day to add a class deadline. If it's still the first week of classes or any time before then, and you're interested in maximizing your 18-credit tuition package by taking a 5th class, click on additional ways to search under the text box, scroll down the available subjects drop-down menu for core curriculum, and select any of those 3 options. Then scroll down to non-standard credits and select 2. Then scroll down to hit search, and you can see a list of 2-credit courses to register for. There are also 2-credit options under other subjects such as career and life design, focus area, communication, communication studies, education general, graphic design, kinesiology, hospitality, to name a few. Well, let's look at how these 2-credit classes can affect your bill before or after the last day to drop with no penalty deadline, which again is week 2 for fall, winter, and spring terms. For December intersession and summer sessions 1 and 2, it's much earlier, so again, pay attention to the calendar deadlines posted online. You will be held accountable for them whether you know them or not. Welcome to adulthood. So example 1, you stay within the 18-credit tuition package, no extra bill. Example 2, if you were to drop a 4-credit class before the no penalty drop, you could pick up 2 late start 2-credit classes to make up for the 4-credit drop. Example 3 is a $1,500 to $3,000 extra charge, depending on whether or not you add the late start 2-credit class. So if you have any questions about your class schedule, degree progress, and graduation timeline, please contact your staff academic advisor. If you have financial aid related questions, you want to contact a financial aid advisor. If you have billing specific questions, please contact DePaul Central.